Maria was a hard-working 19-year-old young woman from a small Mexican town who had been employed as a maid by a wealthy couple residing in a sprawling California villa. Her diligent work ethic was the talk of the neighborhood, yet her compensation didn't reflect her tireless efforts. One afternoon, Maria decided to approach her employer, Mrs. Darcy, to discuss her pay. Mrs. Darcy was a strict woman who ran her household with precision and took pride in her ability to maintain a splendid home. Maria, with a twinge of hesitation, spoke up. "Senora Darcy, I believe it's time for a discussion about my pay. I believe I deserve an increase." Mrs. Darcy raised an eyebrow, visibly annoyed at this seemingly audacious request. With an air of icy calmness, she asked, "And pray tell, Maria, what makes you think you deserve a pay increase?" Maria, gathering her courage, replies, "Senora, there are 3 reasons I believe justify my request. The first reason is that I iron better than you," she started. Shocked, Mrs. Darcy quickly retorted, "And who dared to say that you iron better than me?" With a calm demeanor, Maria answered, "Your husband, Senora. He mentioned it just last week." Mrs. Darcy, surprised, could only mutter, "Oh." Emboldened, Maria continued, "The second reason is that I am a better cook than you." With a dismissive laugh, Mrs. Darcy responded, "Now that is a bold claim. Who would say that you are a better cook than me?" Again, Maria answered, "It was your husband, Senora. He praised my cooking after dinner the other night." Mrs. Darcy, caught off guard, could only respond with another, "Oh," but Maria wasn't finished. "Lastly, my third reason is that I am a better lover than you." Infuriated, Mrs. Darcy spat out, "And let me guess, my husband said that too?" Maria replied with a shake of her head, "No, Senora, it was the gardener. I'd like that pay raise." It was the highly anticipated first night of their honeymoon, the air buzzing with both excitement and a twinge of nervousness. The new bride, a beautiful young woman, turns to her handsome husband and confesses, "Darling, I feel there is something I should share with you before we embark on this journey together." Taken aback, the husband, with a tinge of worry in his voice, prompts her to continue. She confides, "I must confess, I'm not untouched. I've been intimate with another man before." The husband, trying to hide his shock, manages to ask, "Oh, do I know him? Who is this man?" His bride answers, "It was Tiger Woods, the celebrated golfer." Processing this revelation, the husband manages a forced smile, stating, "Well, considering he's a successful man, I suppose I can understand that." Putting the conversation behind them, the couple proceeds to do what newlyweds usually do on their first night. After their intimate encounter, the husband rises from the bed and strolls towards the telephone placed on the hotel room's writing desk. "Where are you going, my love?" the bride asks, her curiosity piqued. "I find myself rather famished. I thought I'd call room service," the husband replies. With a teasing smile, the wife says, "Tiger wouldn't do that." Intrigued, the husband asks, "Really? What exactly would Tiger do?" His wife coyly replies, "He'd come back to bed and make love a second time." Caught off guard, the husband places the phone back on the receiver and returns to the marital bed. After his second round of honeymoon antics, the husband, with a satisfied smile, heads back towards the phone. "Going for room service again?" she inquires. His hand on the dial, the husband answers, "Yes, I still need to satiate my hunger." His wife grins, says, "Tiger wouldn't do that." The husband chuckles, "And what would Tiger do this time?" "He'd come back to bed and do it one more time," she states, winking. Shaking his head in disbelief, the husband abandons his room service call yet again, heading back to the bed for a third time. After the third exhaustive round, the husband, utterly spent, shuffles back to the phone, picking up the receiver with a weary hand. Seeing him dial, the wife asks, "Now are you calling room service?" Through labored breaths, the husband replies, "No, my dear, I'm calling Tiger Woods to find out what's par for this hole." A nice, calm and respectable lady went into the pharmacy, right up to the pharmacist, looked straight into his eyes, and said, "I would like to buy some cyanide." The pharmacist asked, "Why in the world do you need cyanide?" The lady replied, "I need it to poison my husband." The pharmacist's eyes got big, and he exclaimed, "Lord, have mercy! I can't give you cyanide to kill your husband. That's against the law. I'll lose my license. They'll throw both of us in jail. All kinds of bad things will happen." "Absolutely not. You cannot have any cyanide." The lady reached into her purse and pulled out a picture of her husband in bed with the pharmacist's wife. The pharmacist looked at the picture and replied, "Well now, that's different. You didn't tell me you had a prescription." One fine evening, two aliens descended onto our humble planet, their spaceship making a soft landing in the sandy stretches of the Arizona desert. Near their landing site, nestled in the middle of nowhere, was a quaint old gas station that had long since closed for the day. Curious about their surroundings, they ventured toward one of the dormant gas pumps. The younger alien, filled with a mixture of nervousness and excitement, decided to initiate contact. He cleared his voice and began in a firm, clear tone, "Greetings, Earthling. We come in peace. We wish to be taken to your leader." The gas pump stood silent, unresponsive to the young alien's plea. Feeling slighted by the pump's disregard, the young alien's eyes flashed with anger. Sensing his friend's growing tension, the older alien tried to pacify him, saying, "You should calm down, my friend." Ignoring the wise counsel of his companion, the younger alien repeated his greeting, raising his voice a notch higher. Yet, his request was again met with the gas pump's silent defiance. Bristled by what he perceived as the pompous attitude of the earthly machine, he swiftly drew his high-tech ray gun and threatened, "Greetings, Earthling. We come in peace. Take us your leader or face the consequences." Despite the brewing tension, the older alien remained calm and warned his companion again, "I strongly suggest you reconsider. I sense this could lead to unpleasant consequences." Brushing off the warning is baseless worry, the young alien, full of misplaced confidence, aimed his weapon at the unassuming gas pump and fired. Suddenly, there was a catastrophic explosion. A fireball of tremendous proportions erupted from the gas pump, hurtling the younger alien off his feet and catapulting him about 200 yards away into a prickly cactus patch. After enduring a half-hour of unconsciousness and disorientation, the young alien gradually regained his senses. He slowly focused his trio of eyes, adjusted his crumpled antenna, and gazed in bewilderment at the elder alien. The older alien was shaking his green head in disapproval. The burnt and singed young alien exclaimed, "What an immensely ferocious creature! He nearly extinguished my existence. How did you know he possessed such formidable power?" Bending down, the older alien placed a friendly tentacle on his charred comrade and replied, "If there's one thing I've learned in my interstellar expeditions, never mess with a guy who can loop his penis over his shoulder and stick it in his ear." My friends, if you want to watch other funny jokes, subscribe to the channel.